Greetings and welcome back to 50 Shades of Beige. Well, as you can see here, after several weeks, the Aquanaut PC is finished. For those of you who missed it, I did a review of this The Tower 300 by Thermaltake, and I'll be the first to admit it definitely was not my best work, but I ended up using the picture of an Aquanaut's Lego set in the thumbnail, and that got a few Lego enthusiasts a little upset. So I went ahead and decided, all right, well, I'll make it so that what is in the thumbnail actually matches what I built, and I built an Aquanaut PC. So this is my second time building in the Tower 300, and I'll tell you, it was a mess. So if you remember from my original view, which is linked down below, I actually had some trouble with getting the power supply cables routed the way I wanted them. So this time I decided to use a Seasonic Connect 750. So what this is the power supply is down here, and it hooks into a distribution block with DC to DC converters in it, and then you feed all your cables out that way. And this is kind of an off-label use. It's meant to sit on the front side of the case. Obviously, the Tower 300 is really just a small form factor case. It's huge. It's very large for a small form factor case, but it's small form factor nonetheless, and there's no room for this out back. So the cable management is just absurd. But yeah, it was definitely one of the hardest builds I've ever done in my entire life. I definitely don't look forward to building in this case again. It looks really cool, and it is perfect for Aquanauts, which we're going to see here in just a moment. I'm just going to kind of walk you through what I did build-wise. Now, I was going to film like a build vlog for this case, but it was so hard and I had so much trouble that I just couldn't do it. So there is no build vlog. We're just going to walk through kind of what I did here, and I'm going to show you the build. So here it is. As you can see, we've got our Aquanauts and our Hydronauts right here. And of course, it can't be an Aquanauts build without an AIO cooler, so I used this ID cooling cooler. It's pretty cheap. You can pick this up on Amazon for about 50 bucks. And then of course, we've got our GeForce RTX 3056 gig. I'm featuring this in this build because I had some trouble with the 6700 XT that I was gonna put in here. So yeah, I'll show some pictures of what it originally looked like. I think it looked much better with the 6700 XT, but I decided to put this in the build also because we're going to be giving this card away soon. So yeah, here's how it basically turned out. And then if we pull this panel off the front here, you can see there's the other side of the power supply. Really not ideal. I kid you not when I say it was literally 2 steps forward, 1 step back for this entire build. What a mess. But I'm super excited that it's over. I am happy to be able to make good on my word and go ahead and give you guys the build that you expected. I wanted to do more Legos, but the more Legos I built, the more I realized that this, once again, is a super small form factor case that's just like bulky, right? The actual amount of space in here is no bigger than any other small form factor PC. So there's just not a lot of places to put Lego. So instead I decided to kind of build this diorama here. We've got our 2 Hydronauts in their subs. They're coming down, and then we got our Aquanaut right here, and he's trying to escape down into his rock crawler. So I thought that'd be kind of cool. Anyway, what do you say we go ahead and light it up and see how it looks? Here we are, all lit up. So we've got our B550 motherboard. This is a Gigabyte Aorus B550M. We've got our RTX 3066 gigabyte. We've got our ID cooling, kind of basic AIO there. And underneath the cooler, I've got a Ryzen 7 5700X. Got 32 gigs of DDR4 3600 down there. Overall, pretty nice build. One thing I did notice too, when you get into this small form factor stuff, is you don't get as many fan headers. So I actually ended up having to plug these two into their Molex connectors, because if you look over to the side, I've got this, you can't really see it because of the way the lighting is, but I have an M.2 cooler on there that I thought it would be kind of a neat addition. Well, unfortunately, that M.2 cooler also takes a fan header. So there's really only 3 fan headers on this motherboard. One is going to the pump for the AIO, one is going to the NVMe cooler, and then one is going to these 2 fans up top here. So I actually used these fans that I found on AliExpress. These are similar to the Lee fans that kind of daisy chain together with connectors. So yeah, this is a really nice one cable solution. Doesn't really make sense for only 2 fans, but if you're gonna do 3 or 4 back to back, I highly recommend these. They're decent fans, they're not too loud, they can do all of the colors, but overall, just a very nice design. And for the price, considering the Lee fans, I believe are about $100 for a pair. These are $30 for 3, so definitely a much better value there. So yeah, there it is, the Aquanaut / Hydronaut / Aquazone PC. Now you might be asking, what about the glass that goes in the front? Did you tint the glass? And yes, I did. Unfortunately, the glass did not turn out quite as good as I want to, so I'm actually going to do a little bit more work on that, and then probably follow up in a short next week to show you all that. So we tinted the glass, it just turned out a little too light. It needs to be darker. What I was hoping for is something closer to what these tops have. So yeah, anyway, like I said, I will be uploading a short with the 100% final build of this. I just wanted to get this out and kind of show you all where we're at, because this thing literally took me weeks to build. It was a mess. I've never had so many issues building a computer before. And I actually have a lot more respect for guys that are like small form factor enthusiasts now that I've done this build. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.